Empire's turn to pick.
All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to the SkinCoin WCA event here. We got our our third series actually of the day, but we are going to be wrapping up after this one here, but still got a good best of three ahead of us. What is Empire versus SFTe-sports here in this best of three? So once again, I am BreakyCPK, joined by TraLFDota as my co-caster. And again, though, before we get into it, you type !SkinCoin in chat. You can get information on the giveaway that's currently going on, as well as go to SkinCoin.org. The latest cryptocurrency in the esports world. You check it out. You can trade it actually for your favorite skins in Dota 2 and even CSGO as well. So again, that's SkinCoin.org. Here we go, though. The draft is underway, and all right, that's a little bit interesting. We got to start here, and I believe I even mentioned this earlier. The idea that we're seeing Enchantress in this region, unlike maybe the NA region, but hell, Empire first picking Enchantress into Necrophos, and you didn't even see a Doom coming out. What's going on here, Tralf?
Well, first I want to ask you, since you said you've seen Enchantress a bit, have you been seeing it more as a core or as a support?
It's usually been in that 4 position, I feel like, kind of that roaming support.
Ah, okay. Because I have seen it in NA, but it's almost always played as a core. Usually it's off lane, but oftentimes we'll see it in the mid lane against heroes that are notoriously good at mid. So you see it against Necrophos sometimes. You see it against Viper a lot of the time, is what I've seen. But that's interesting. So I do expect it to be played more as a 4, like you said, because it's picked up so early on.
Yeah.
And then Lich Doom, I mean, that's a pretty damn strong start if I've ever seen one. Lich Doom can lane themselves. They can put Doom solo. They can put him as the 4 position if they need to, but it's just almost certainly as a counter pick to this Necrophos, as Doom pretty much counters everyone in the game, so long as they don't buy Lincolns. And even if they do, you can find a creep that can trigger that Lincolns, like a Purge creep, or even buy something yourself, like a Halberd. So good, strong opening here from really both teams, but I think especially SFT. That's kind of hard to say.
It is. I'm not even sure what it stands for, if it does, honestly, for anything. But SFT here on the dire side. Yeah, I've heard about this idea that Doom is supposed to even kind of be a counter to Necrophos because of the idea you activate the ultimate on him and prevents him from doing anything, of course, in those fights. So we'll see if that comes into play. I'm sure it will. Pugna as the 3rd pick in response to Jakiro coming out from Empire. Maybe not a response, but more so just, as you point out, I mean, you think Pugna's a really strong hero, so you probably like their draft even more now.
Well, it's actually surprising that, seeing how SFT banned out Nyx in the first portion of the 2nd ban phase, that kind of just screams Pugna to me, because Pugna is thought of as one of the counters to Necrophos. And seeing how Nyx is such a hard counter to Pugna, and they're banning it out, they're kind of telegraphing that pick in a sense. So I'm interested, or I'm curious why Empire didn't pick up on that and maybe ban out the Pugna themselves, because they had the opportunity to do so. It's also very good against Enchantress, because Enchantress, obviously physical damage is not the way to counter Enchantress, of course, unless you get like a BKB or an Ursa or Troll or something like that. But man, the magic damage from Pugna onto a hero that has very, very low strength gain, like Enchantress, and really relies on just her ability to counter auto attacks. It's a very good pick up against both those heroes.
Yeah. So it could have perhaps been thought about, but it's not. And so SFTe-sports, they capitalize on the pick and take it for themselves. The 4th pick for Team Empire. Again, Jakiro, you're never really sure where it's going to end up 100%, but leaning more towards the 5 position at this point. Maybe this next pick will give us certainty there. And it is going to be a Mirana coming out for Team Empire. So, I mean, they could do a lot already with this lineup that they have. They definitely have options, but Mirana mid, I know we've been seeing a fair amount of, so I'm going to guess there. But
yeah, it could be Mirana mid. Maybe they're anticipating a Lich duel in mid. They want something that doesn't die. Puck is a good option. Mirana is a good option as well. Mirana is also a natural diffusal carrier, so they can kind of work around the self-decrep or even decrep on other allies. So that's a potential use of the hero as we get into maybe the later stages of the game.
Empire's, it's just kind of on a side topic here with Team Empire. Again, they had their run at TI, and And a lot of people like to suggest that resolution was a big reason for that, and I don't think that's a stretch by any means. Yes, he obviously did fantastic with the team, and he was a great carry player. But, I mean, they qualified in the first place without him, of course. And this is what I brought up several times even during the event. Chappie himself is a really good core player. And overall, this is still potentially one of the better teams in CIS, if not, outside of Virtus Pro. This is a team you expect to be doing very well. Of course, now Na'Vi has definitely made a rise in the CIS region as well, but Team Empire is still a very, very good team, so definitely have them as the favorites in this matchup. But this is the first time I'm getting to see them, though, this year as well. They did also make a change, I believe. I want to say Vanscore joined them after they dropped Roger, who ended up going to Na'Vi, if I'm not mistaken. Right there, so.
Yeah. Yeah, and this is just, again, my ignorance of some of the teams in the EU CIS region, but whoever their offlane player was during TI, it was someone that was playing Batrider a lot. I want to say it was Maposhka, but I could be totally wrong.
Gostic is usually their offlane player, I believe.
Maybe that's who it was.
Yeah.
I remember what he looks like, but I don't remember his name. But he really impressed me during TI. I was really impressed with him in particular.
Okay.
Whoever their go-to Batrider player was, but that guy was very, very strong. So expecting to see good things from him, whatever role he's going to be playing. But yeah, this draft is flexible from Team Empire. I'll give him that. Sand King here picked up for SFTe-sports. Strong hero, strong support. Again, it pairs nicely with the Lich, and we saw that banned out in the last series. And they had issues with their other support in that game. So we'll see what he can get done. Provides him a nice hard stun. Works well with Pugna as well.
It goes back to it is a Sand King over a Earthshaker. So once again, kind of bringing up that logic there. And I know we're bringing up more so last game with the Clockwork picked up compared to something like an Earthshaker. But even Sand King, I think you can argue what benefit does Sand King bring over an Earthshaker in comparison? When it comes down to it. So, not that Sand King's a bad hero by any means, but it's a little surprising to me, and I noticed that that's been a trend these last because this is not my third day of covering this event specifically. The teams don't necessarily value the Earthshaker that much for that 4 position.
Yeah, it just depends. I think Earthshaker with Lich is a bit passive. I think you can be a little bit more aggressive with Sand King, and I like the reliability of Sand King stun a little bit earlier on than Earthshaker. Earthshaker, it can be a little bit iffy. Also, Sand King does have some dot damage with his Sandstorm, which could be effective against Enchantress. So there's that. It's just a little bit more of a reliable stun. It combos well with Pugna. Not to say that Earthshakers doesn't, but you do have to position it. It can, kind of backfire in some scenarios. So I would say in this instance, it's just reliability over anything with the Sand King over the Earthshaker. But again, of course, you do give and you take. Earthshaker provides a huge ultimate. But then again, so does Sand King. So
Sven stands ready.
We got a Sven once again. This time it's going to be working out for SFTe-sports with their final pick. So really is kind of that 4-1 idea around this Sven. Again, Pugna obviously can deal great damage himself, but eventually becomes just more of that utility for the team. But you like the Sven pick in the end?
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, pending, there are potentially 3 4-staff candidates on Team Empire. Necrophos, Enchantress, and Jakiro will all probably want to buy one. We saw how it worked wonders last game against Sven. We'll see. I mean, there's no real Sven there's no targets for Sven to go on that really jump out to me. Obviously, Necro is the one, but you are kind of already had counters to him in the Doom and the Pugna. So we'll see. I think Sven just overall is a great hero. And they're going to go Underlord as their last pick. So a lot of different things here from Empire. A lot of different heroes with different objectives. Speaking of skins again, that's a pretty cool Necrophos skin.
That stood out to me right away, actually. As well. Yeah, that is a pretty cool one. Chappie having that here. But Underlord coming out, again, making reference to the NA region. I've noticed that this hero has actually been picking up a lot of steam lately. It seems like, for whatever reason, I mean, there hasn't been a patch for a while, of course, but just he's kind of gotten some attention now post-TI in that, this hero's actually, a decent laner. I guess, and he kind of transitions nicely into the mid game. He can get those big items such as the mech and the eventual Guardian Greaves, and kind of just be that frontliner that you need in these fights. Is that a fair description of him? Is there more to it?
No, you pretty much nailed it.
Got it. I will say that the Ubering, the Dark Rift, on paper it sounds like, you know, the perfect ideas. You push a tower, you Dark Rift to another lane, you push that tower, but we never really see that come into play. It's either used more as an exit tool, or frankly, I see a lot of Underlords, especially early, they just simply use it as a teleport. Like, they're just like, I don't feel like being in this lane anymore, I'm going to go to another lane. Instead of the
It's just kind of, as an offensive tool, it's a bit too slow. Like, you kind of telegraph it. It takes like, what, I think 4 seconds at level 3? I could be wrong.
It's 4 seconds. Yeah, at level 1, it's 6 seconds.
It takes forever at level 1. And then level 3, even at level 3, 4 seconds to go offensively, it just takes too long. So yeah, you're right. It is used as a defensive tool. And it's a great defensive tool at that. I mean, it's pretty much uncounterable unless you do some, you know, cheeky 4-staff plays to force him out away from his team.
Yeah.
Or a disruptor glimpse, something like that. But other than that, it's uncounterable.
Yep. Underlord himself, unless you kill him, he is going to be going with the Dark Rift there. So, all right, he is setting up at the top lane as you would expect. Meanwhile, Illidan's actually down here at the bottom bounty rune on Sven. So they are right now. They're setting up to have Pugna top lane, and they're going to put Sven in the middle here with the Lich, matched up against the Mirana. Interesting. Is that to avoid the Underlord, or is that just a better matchup ultimately against the Mirana, you think? Or
it's just a better matchup against Mirana. I think Mirana can do okay against a Pugna, whereas Sven's sitting up there in the front lines with the stout shield and actually went for the full PMS. With a full PMS and maybe perhaps Lich armor at level 2, I mean, that Mirana's not going to do any damage to him. So, and he just has better auto attack animation for the lane than a Pugna.
All right, well, that's how it's going to end up here. Enchantress helping a little bit initially. The block as lags are coming out. So, Enchantress, played by Moposhka here. Again, more the support player for the team, so it is going to be in that roam support role. It sounded like that's what you look forward to, at least, when having the Enchantress. So, yeah, well, I mean, what do you expect to see out of the Enchantress then? It's almost like that, what I expect with a Chen initially. What we're kind of seeing, I guess, where, you know, you take over the creep, you go to a lane, you harass. Is that probably what we're should see?
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously getting 2 creeps early on compared to Chen having only 1 to level 3 is a bit stronger in the early game for this Enchantress. I wonder if he even goes top to kill Pugna. That's probably the easiest kill. Doom looking for a creep. He actually, I thought he blocked it for a second, but it's not going to spawn just yet. 3 more seconds. He's going to get... He does have an option for an Alpha Wolf. Who wants to get this courier? It's microed nicely by Empire, so they do know something's up. I wonder if he goes and looks in this other camp. Oh, he could have gotten a wolf. That would have been really, really good for him. He's probably kicking himself right now. It does get the tornado, but the problem with this is his mana pool is so low that once he casts that, that's it. He just sits there and he does nothing else.
I noticed
so he's
that,
probably kicking himself in the
He pops the clarity, so he does have enough now. But as you point out, he literally that's like his whole mana pool at this point. So he's gonna farm up that Alpha Wolf, and he stacked it actually. Okay.
Yeah, but he's getting golems. This is not the most efficient way of farming. Obviously, if he got a different camp, it would have been better. But even then, neutral camps don't really give much golden experience. Does ding level 2 because he takes that big creep beforehand, but it's going to take some time to kill these golems. He actually cancels it.
This is not worth it. Just walks away. All right, well, we'll keep an eye on Doom, so see how he does right now, just playing more of the roam game, more of the jungle league even.
Smoked up. He smoked up, but it was on a ward. I think it was uphill, though, so they didn't ping it out. They don't know. I mean, he's walking over towards mid. That actually re-enchants the Dark Troll. Okay, I was wondering about that. So he does have a really good duo of creeps here. Maybe make his way.
Top lane. Underlord's actually going to die right here. The Nether Blast missed, but the final auto attack coming out. And when he mentioned Smoked Up, I thought he meant Doom, but no, Doom was actually just walking up there. He just simply walked in the flank. Underlord saw for a while, but he underestimated the damage output. Lich middle lane, net up. Sven is here. He's going to maybe Stormhammer somebody. No, didn't really, and guess what? It won't be able to save anyone, so ends up being a kill on a Lich. Yeah, we do see the interaction right there with the Doom against Enchantress, though. The idea that he can devour her creeps comes to it.
Yep. Very, very long cooldown level 1, of course, but yeah, that option's still there. Even though Ghostic died, he was level 3 compared to Pugnus level 2 at the time of his death, so he's still getting pretty much free reign and experience up here. And now there's Miposhka making his way up top, being annoying. That damage from that Satyr Tormentor is pretty huge on a Pugnus low HP pool, and he's got a number more of nukes to go if he wants to.
Is he Underlord just not afraid to be this far up? Kind of goes back to the idea of my teams may like him. Middle lane, FN. He's in trouble. Net comes out. That's the creep that Doom ate earlier from Enchantress.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. He'll take that net. Snares up the mid lane.
Yeah, nice roaming here from Doom. Right place, right time. Level 3 at minute 3. So doing very well for himself. Actually going to rush the mana boots, which in this case I say go for it. I mean, he really needs that mana pool to be able to cast multiple spells. He's making his way towards top. Underlord's very, very tanky though. Miposhka has some pretty beefy creeps and looks like Doom wants one of those.
Well, there you go. Which did he take? He took the Satyr. Has the Hadouken. Not going to find an opportunity, though. It goes back to just the lack in the mana pool. He's going to need to do something about that soon. Maybe go back eventually. But he has Arcane Boots actually just about finished now as I say that. So it's a pretty decent start for Doom even. Come to his early farm as we're now approaching 4 minutes into this game. How's the bottom lane going? You got Sand King. He's level 3 currently, 7-1, trying to maybe steal some of this stack here, but Necrophos runs over. They have a sentry. Oh, it just wore off, actually, right as they run over. He places a new one, and now Nico realizes he might be in trouble.
Does have a burrow. Just gets level 4 as well, so extra range on that burrow, too.
Dual breath, but yeah, he should be fine in the long run. No Reaper Scythe, obviously. Man, it's going to be close. He Liquid Fire's coming up.
He does have stick. Yeah, he should be okay.
Chappie, don't do it, Chappie.
Wow, Chappie is really going in.
Yeah, with a stick, he wasn't dying there, so that was a very ambitious dive by Chappie. But he had the Ghost Shroud and just trying to get some more damage.
Keeping him honest. Keeping him honest.
That's a way to look at it. Obviously, he's doing very well, though, at the bottom lane. Sven, meanwhile, middle lane, 32-4. He's also doing pretty good. You see, we saw the Chen doing this earlier. You got Enchantress now doing this with the Wildering Ripper.
A really nice stacking going on from the Dire team. They got a triple stack in their Ancients. They got another stack in the Hard Camp. I'm looking around anymore. Yep, they got both Ancients stacked as well. So once this Sven gets some core items, gets that Mask of Madness, he is just going to pop off. And it looks like he has the treads delivered to him right now. FN's still actually getting some good CS in mid. He's up to 30. So with a little help from Enchantress, able to get some farm here, even though dying once. Doom making his way back towards mid, has the mana boots. Very early for him.
Yeah, nice early progress being made. So now that mana pool looks a little more heftier.
Oh, double stun coming from the little golems. Oh, yeah, big damage.
Great roam by Enchantress. Finds him backing off here in the middle lane. They have this ward on the other side, so they knew Doom was there the whole time. Exactly where he was. And those mini mud golems, what do they even call them? The shard golem. Is enough damage to get that kill, so that's always fun to see Doom, speaking of that, taking over the mud golem and he dies. He splits up in the mini Doomlings.
Yeah.
Gotta be careful against those, man. Those could still do some decent damage.
Yeah, they do hit really hard. But yeah, that vision in mid from that ward, it must have been smoked because that ward is so close to the tower. It's providing lots of good intel here for Team Empire.
So something I've noticed a lot of Maranas, pretty much every Marana, especially more in the mid-roll, they don't go Ags anymore. That's kind of a, I don't want to say dead build, but it's just not the routine build. It's more of the right click, the Yasha, the Manta Diffusal. You expect to see that kind of style here?
Yeah, and ult coming out from Chappie gets the extra regen as well. So a nice kill onto the Sand King. But yeah, especially this game because there is a Pugna, it just makes so much sense to, and hell, even a Sven for that matter, it makes so much sense getting the Diffusal. And if you're going Diffusal, why would you waste your time in building up towards the Ags? You want to get that Diffusal as fast as possible. There's a slow, there is a stun as well onto the Sven. He's very tanky though with his War Cry. Not sure if they get this kill. And yeah, we put some ice armor on top of that, and he's looking pretty healthy. Has a shrine to work with as well.
Yeah, Warcry with the armor of Lich. I mean, potentially maxed out altogether. He's going to have 29 plus armor. But the Lich is maxed out too.
Meatclaw stuns in. Already used his, oh, he's actually going to channel the ultimate. Can he get something here? Tries to go for a counter kill. Doesn't look like it's going to work, though.
Barrel strike? No. He came off at the last second there. Middle lane, meanwhile, FNE's charging away. Scorched Earth is put down. There's a Warcry God Strike as well. He takes an arrow to the face. 4 more seconds. Before that storm, remember Hadouken, but he popped the stick charges. Doesn't matter. He goes down in the end, and now Necrophos with that port in. Ghost Shroud's not up for another couple of seconds. Or they dive in a little bit too much, so they will fall back. And now Illidan could be in some trouble as Enchantress makes her way back over. She has a chant coming up in 5 seconds. Just slow if necessary, Chappie. Of course, no Reaper's Sight, that dual breath. Got something on it right there, and the auto attack does finish. And now Chappie, that regen kicks right in once again. So STST, yeah, he has to keep his distance.
It's very hard to body block with a wolf. The radius or whatever you around that wolf, just the unit size is just so small, and to do that for that long was very, very impressive. So nicely done by Miposhka. That really was impressive to watch.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Taking advantage of him going a little bit too deep there in that middle. Gostic, meanwhile, on Underlord. He's finding plenty of farm as he's getting low. The shrine is not ready. Guessing, I don't know if he's planning to go back or what, but just farming up the jungle for now and may push out this top lane.
Radiant's top tower is under
Enchantress rotates over too. But yeah, Underlord is going to go back to base and regen for the time being. So what kind of builds are we starting to see? Necrophos go in the Veil. Not a big surprise there. The mech, an eventual Guardian Greaves on Underlord as we expected.
Yeah, last with G we saw, was it Veil Force into, I think, Radiance?
I believe, yeah.
Radiant
last series,
structures are fortified.
And it worked out well. I mean, obviously, any build where you get those items at 12 minutes is going to work out well.
Oh, yeah. Ooh, this massive stack. You mentioned the stacking of it earlier. They're doing it. It's not easy to do, even with the Morbid Mask, but they're eventually going to make their way through it. And Sven getting, of course, a majority, if not all, of the farm. So switching over to net worth now. He's not topping, but he's oh no.
Oh God, Lich!
That just happened. He got a little too close. I think that was a dragon actually killed him there. All right, well, Illidan's gonna finish off the rest, and you know, up there with the Pugna teammate now. As far as the net worth is looking, there is still a stack down here as well.
Dire's middle tower.
Yeah, it makes it so hard with these ancient prowlers. They're just so pesky to deal with. They keep you in place. They do tons of damage to you, lower your armor, etc.
They scanned this Enchantress roaming in initially. Pugna definitely knows he's going to go for the TP center. Stop! No, not in time. Yeah, it's going to be too late there. So good port out from Thompson. He's got the Soul Ring and the Arcane Boots. And look at this, actually. Using the Life Drain on a Wandering Ripper in the jungle to heal on up and get some extra farm. Very low cooldown. Top tower push, though. That's going to be an objective done by the Radiant side. And you see Mirana has that Yasha queued up. What about Enchantress, though? 1,200 gold saved up. She's one that can definitely go a plethora of items, playing this 4 position especially. Where do you think she goes?
Yeah, and I haven't seen it played as a 4 for so long, but because of her farm and because she's not buying anything right now, I could see a Midas pick up. Midas then transition. Oh, Pit here on to Pugna. Should be able to be fine. Dodges the arrow. The Pit doesn't stun you for very long. Obviously, it keeps reapplying, but the initial one isn't very long. Still pushing this. No signs of defending this as Pit Lord does get the ultimate out, but no, the damage output from Thompson on the Pugna, able to connect with an easy kill. Very nicely done. In the meantime, Doom does get a counter or another kill in the mid lane. And cast the Doom onto Mirana. Lich is going to be fine. One more auto attack. He actually turns back. Could have been fine, just ran away. Wanted to put some extra damage, I suppose. Still a fine trade, but I think he didn't need to trade his life for that.
All right, quite the bloodbath there. Even the bottom lane had a little bit of action, no kills, but they were diving Necrophos before they realized it's Necrophos and they fell back. But yeah, how about that Pugna nuke, man? Again, just the second time we're seeing this Pugna today, and just never ceased to be impressed by that damage that can come out. And Underlord clearly wasn't ready for it either. Well, technically he kind of was because he had the Dark Rift active, just simply didn't activate in time. So. Nice catch from him. Thompson, he takes over as a top farm in the game. 5,800 net worth, has the Veil, of course, and that Aether Lens is also coming. So going that what seems to be pretty routine stuff here as far as the build is concerned. The eventual Ags, I'm sure, can make an appearance. Maybe the Dagon. Maybe
yeah,
we'll see that.
I really love the Dagon build, but you know what always is so crazy to me is that Necrophos gets a plus 40 damage talent at level 10. That just seems so ridiculous to me. 40 damage.
Well, he's not known as a right-click hero, so Valve's like, we want him to deal right-click damage, of course.
That's a lot of right-click damage, and when you build these kind of items, his auto attacks hurt a lot. And people don't expect it, like they don't really think of him as that, so they tank a lot more damage and they really think they... Oh, action mid. Even that level 1 Ice Path, they able to keep him in place for a little bit to connect that arrow, but simply not enough damage.
Yeah, that level 3 Warcry again, just so much armor. He's still taking more, but eventually he's going to make his way out. That is a middle tower kill, though, coming out for them. However, a fight could be breaking out further now, as there's the nuke again on Underlord. The Netherward's also put down, so Underlord's dead. Doom. No Doom to activate. He has the Satyr Purge creep taken over, by the way. Reaper Side takes out Sand King, however, but the zaps keep coming from the Netherward. The Chain Frost and only hit Necrophos once, but that's a massive slow coming out. Although STST, he regrets going in. He'll be picked up on the Impetus attacks of Maposhka. And those Impetus still happy. Nice to Crepify, though. Thompson himself. So very back and forth is how it actually plays out there in the middle lane. 2 for 2.
Yeah. Kind of interesting there. Pugna is level 13. I don't know if he took a tome or something, but he's level 13 at 13 minutes. He had to have. He had to have. Wait, I don't even think they've used the tome. Unless on my screen it's bugged, but...
No, he wouldn't get a tome, would he? Like, you never do that, right? Or I guess it depends on the hero.
Depends on the hero. Depends on if someone has a... Like, for instance, Venomancer should always take the tome, even as a core. Just because he has the talent... for the plus experience, but I'm just saying I'm more baffled that he's just such a high level at this stage of the game. Obviously, he has 4 kills, and some of those were solo kills, if not all. I don't remember, but Ancient Stack being cleared out here by Illidan, as he now has his Blink on top of a Mom, so he's very farmed himself.
Enchantress going the Dragonlance, so we're gonna see some right click here from Maposhka. We saw that a little bit in the last fight with the Impetus again. And the pure damage, especially in that range. Power Treads now being clicked as well. So that's going to be a bit of a threat that they have to deal with. Top lane, Mirana. There's that Nether Blast, and the Stormhammer comes in to help finish the job right there. The leap was still on cooldown, so Mirana could not escape bottom lane. They're going in as well. Doom has his ulti active again. The Purge Satyr creep taken over. Going to be going after Enchantress here. The Decrepify is put up. Nether Blast nuke. Ward's put down as well. Healing up with the Nature's Attendance, but definitely not going to be enough in the long run. No support.
That's that Pugna damage of all magical and really tons of burst as well onto a very low HP Enchantress that really relies on her her Untouchable to keep her alive. But Pugna don't care. He
don't care. Necrophos, yeah, going back to the right click, though, what I want to bring up, too, is the idea that we see a lot of these Radiance builds on Necrophos. So, yeah, it goes back to...
Right.
You really do have to respect his damage output, especially if he gets that 40-plus damage talent on top of having something like that Radiance as well. So...
Wow, he's got an Atos. So Chappie very farmed as well.
Wow, he does. All right, Rod of Atos is second choice. So that's a little different. We don't see the Rod of Atos every game by any means.
And deceptively farmed is this Mirana. Her box score is not that great, 3, 4, and 2, but sitting not too far away from the Sven, as she's rushing the Manta, and she's actually somewhat close to it. So creeping on up on the net worth is FN.
Chappie almost got taken out at the bottom lane by Pugna. He roamed in with the haste, another blast, the life drain, just not enough though to finish it. But especially with the Aether Lens, you just see how far that life drain goes in this game. So, and at level 20, it's even more cast range. I'd assume he goes for that, knowing how powerful it is on him. Bottom
shout out to Vanscore in that last engagement towards the bottom. Was able to very quickly stop the Epicenter from actually being cast by Nikwa. Just barely clipped him with it right before it was actually able to get channeled. No blink up yet for an equal, and actually he's pretty far away. So it's about 18 minutes. He went for the mana boots first, so his blink dagger is very delayed.
Yeah, and he's kind of just chilling here at the bottom lane. If anything, kind of soaking up some experience, I guess, but maybe going to be able to set up a kill on Advanced, as you mentioned him. Yep, he's going a little bit too far up. And here we go with Pugna. Moonlight Shadows is activated, and it's not going to be enough. That Nether Ward also doing return damage as they're running in now, trying to get the kill on Pugna, and they will with the Reaper side. That's a 70-second respawn this early on in the game. Wow.
God.
That is insane.
It's just crazy because he's such a high level this early on, coupled with the ult. So you wouldn't think it, but yeah, my God. 70 seconds at 17 minutes is pretty insane. They just got straight up jebaited right there. Baiting out Jakiro and getting a nice counter kill.
And now you have Empire pushing up on him because of it. Chappie already in 1,100 gold saved up. Underlord, he's got the mech. He has the pipe now queued up. Both those arcane boots. That's at least the tower kill. How's Sven? Where are they going, by the way? Top lane?
Just home, I think.
Oh, okay, yeah, just gonna regen. Back at base right there. But yeah, how's Sven doing? He's got the blink. 3,300 gold saved up. Another stack to do here, so it seems like they're on point with keeping that up. And go for it now. Does he need a BKB this game? Probably, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Ooh, they scan him doing this, but not going to be able to react to anything.
Yeah, and he's actually just rushing it right now. No Echo Saber. No Echo Saber. Nothing like that. Just getting the... Oh, he actually blinks onto the cliff, unfortunately. It'll wait a little bit of time to make some more movements. Yeah, they've done a really great job stacking for him constantly, whether it's himself or, you know, I've seen Doom stack a lot as well. He's just got so much farm as a result, so his team is really helping him out here. By the way, have you noticed Peksu playing the Lich, his icon?
Oh yeah, no, that's Peksu. That's probably he was a player a little bit later on in the Han life, in the later Han Tour seasons and stuff. But you got Peksu, you have STST, Nikwa, I want to say, as a former Han guy. So yeah,
okay.
Several players here from the Han history. But yeah, Peksu, he was known for actually playing Parasite, so that's why it's up there. Don't you miss that, Hero Trelf?
No. No.
Yeah, that was the expected response.
That hero is like... Oh, wait, that's something...
No, those were just... Those
that
were
hero is like...
creeps.
Let's see. Venomancer, Lich, Necro, all combined into one.
Oh, come on. That's...
In terms of cancer.
I don't know if I go that far, but... He was strong, yes. He had a strong time. BKB, of course, on Sven. As we're talking about, 500 gold saved up past that. So he's got the holy trinity of items, so I like to say. Now it seems like a good time if you're SFTe to pick some fights here. Well, Pugna's Axe is almost finished, so maybe give that at first before you really look to do something here. On the dire side, as far as a Radiant goes, Mirana's not going to be going to Diffusal. She is going to be going to Lincoln's next instead.
Okay.
So a little more defensive here. Good against...
Obviously, great against the Doom, first and foremost.
Pushka, he lives, doesn't he? Sven popped the God Strength even for that. And he actually couldn't kill her. So now they're going to split push the top lane. Sand King's porting in. Here comes the Lich with the armor. But they know God Strength at least is going to be on cooldown. Rod of Atos on Sand King. Caught in the Pit of Malice. Here comes the Chain Frost, though. Got to spread out. Underlord pops the ultimate. That's awkward. It's like, you want to hug me, but you don't. Here comes Illidan, but they just say, see ya. And they Uber out. However, Jakiro goes down middle lane.
And I don't know if someone helped. I'm checking Pugna's skills right now. Yeah, it does look like Pugna helped with that kill. Because I was like, how in the hell did Doom get a solo kill without using Doom? But Pugna must have assisted. Dude, I'm really impressed with Doom right now. I mean, it's kind of hard to get some items on Doom, especially as a support, because you're not getting levels of the Devour early on. And speaking of that, he went for the health bonus instead of the Devour gold bonus. So that's really going to pay dividends later in the game when he goes for much more tanky items. He's got the pipe. He's going for a halberd. And oh, man, he's going to be so super tanky in the late stages of the game.
Yeah, that's an interesting build. The Heaven's Halberd as well. I guess the big candidate being the Mirana, but hell, even Necrophos, we just got finished talking about how his right clicks. You got to respect that a little bit. So
it's also a good potential counter pick for inevitable Lincoln Spheres. I mean, unless you have, he does have the Purge, but it's relatively, I mean, if you just hover over Purge right now, it's a terrible cast range. Like, you pretty much have to be right on top of them. Halberd's cast range was buffed, hold that thought. We do see potential go here in the bottom lane.
Dan King stunning in with onto Necropulse right there. The Doom's applied, so that's a sure kill on him. He's just about dead anyways. FN leaps away. It's now the game. Can he escape? Manta style ready. He chooses not to use it, though. Just goes for the straight TP, and he actually will escape himself, but they kill Necrophos at least. Now back to more farm, apparently. Axe is finished on Pugna. We're talking about that. That's going to be a key item to maybe get things going here if you're SFTe, and, well, they do get a kill out of it. So, but you're right, though. As a Lincoln's counter, you could even say as far as the Heaven's Halberd on Doom. So, Mirana going it, so it's already going to be ready for it this time.
Yeah, and the mana boots is really not, like, typically you don't see mana boots on Doom, but you do run into tons of mana issues later in the game if you don't. I mean, his Purge costs 120 mana, his Doom costs 200, Pipe's going to cost some mana. So, all these things cost tons of mana throughout a team fight. So it's very, like, if he didn't have his mana boots, he could only maybe cast one series of spells and that would be it. Halberd's going to cost mana in the future. He's probably going to buy something else that will cost mana. So I'm like, it's, again, you just typically don't see this, but I'm really liking these early mana boots on Doom.
Yeah. Making use of them, definitely. Bottom lane being pushed in by Thompson on Pugna. Also known as Lich. Yeah, Lich level 15. So you just look at the overall levels of this game, but Lich, 5 support. He's in the middle of it at level 15 here. And almost has a Glimmer Cape now picked up as well. So not getting the most farm, but at least the levels are adding up. And Mirana, he might be in trouble. No, the Stormhammer into the runaway strat. He saw something there. And he was right. I mean, they were definitely clumped up nearby, so good retreat on his part to back off as he went in. And the rest will run away too. Although porting bottom lane, actually. Okay, but Poshka and Fanscore are going to be picked off here, but now Nikwa, he gets another stun off at least. Life Drain, taking down Gostic. Another Blast Nuke. It's not going to be enough for the kill, though, and down goes Thompson. Another Reaper Scythe, 80+ seconds this time for him. So they rotated bottom and lost a couple, but they get the big target in Pugna.
Yep. Nice spell usage there by Pugna. Was able to cast his ultimate several times on several different heroes, but the problem is it's disrupted a little bit. You saw Ice Path goes down. He has to kind of wait to almost use his ultimate and then dodge it and then use it again. Luckily, he does have the Ag, so he can kind of cast it and then cast it again, but it is an issue that's kind of annoying to have to deal with. Do you go BKB early next? Actually, he does have it queued up. So he's going to get the BKB next on Pugna to stop that.
Yeah. Sven, Chrysalis finish. He was doing another massive stack in his jungle before he comes to the top lane here. So usually you kind of see that taper off as the game picks up. But got to say, SFTe is doing a great job of really keeping those resources ready for this Sven. And the supports are definitely a reason as to why he's continuing to top the charts like he is. But middle tower, it's going to fall here. Fortified the last second. Pit of Malice stops up Sven initially. He does have God Strength. He's going to pop. He also has a BKB, and he'll use that too. Underlord, can they kill him quickly enough? I don't think so. Yeah, he should be able to Uber them out and see ya. That's the power of that ability.
And they get the tower, and they use the BKB on Sven. It's dwindled down now to 9 seconds. That was his 10-second BKB. Wow. Feels bad, man.
Yes, it does. It's just not having the stopper for that. You talked about the idea of 4 staffs maybe. Looking across the board, yeah, they don't got any 4 staffs either though. I mean, Sand King could be a candidate for it, but right now he has an Ags even queued up. I want to say maybe the 4 staff might be a better choice here.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of hard to do it. Sometimes it doesn't really force them totally out of it, and you have to do it right at the last second. There's a possibility, but it looks like Doom has kind of changed his mind. He actually wants to go for. Oh, there's a smoke here. 4-staff, Atos stun, as a Doom does hit Necrophos, but Pugna's taking a lot of damage.
That saves Pugna, though. He couldn't Reaper Scythe them because of that, so Pugna's going to walk away. But now Doom, okay, he's trying to tank all this right click. That ain't going to work for him. Meanwhile, Sven was picked off over here. And now Lich is in trouble. The Glimmer Cape saving him a little bit, but not for long. That's a triple kill for the team of Empire. So they saved Pugna, but at what cost, Ralph?
Did you watch the Sven kill? Because it looked like he just died to Pit Lord and a couple others. Like, the damage heroes were all on the Pugna. He was able to live thanks to the Doom, but curious to see how the Sven died. His BKB must have been still on cooldown during that. It was the 10 seconds, so it was a long one. So that's unfortunate for them. They take Roshan now. It's going to be a big gold boost and experience boost for them as they go up to about 3K or so. And FN on the bottom will take that. There's Lincoln's completed. He is going to go for the defusal next, and they'll have that shortly.
Yeah, and this Mirana's starting to look pretty good as far as damage output. In fact, level 20 gets the plus 50 damage now. Talent. Now, Charles, let me ask you, because I feel like I've had varying opinions on this level 25 talent here. As of right now, what would you find yourself going? The arrows or the attack leap speed?
Oh my god, Vanscore just died. At least he didn't have to use BKB on Sven, so it's a free kill for him. But I will, like, 9 times out of 10 get the arrow talent as he leaps in, tries to maybe get a kill on a Doom. No purge yet for him, but he does have tons of damage. Misses the arrow. Nice sidestep from STST. It's very, very tanky. Not tanky enough. Nice try there. Counter kill play. Maybe onto the bottom. They will get the Aegis. Maybe they can get another one. Another stun. Epi's being channeled to stop him from standing there free. Lincoln's popped. Looks like he will live.
Maybe not. We got another chase, but Underlord's here. And he's here to transport him away. So, Aegis sure, but it's good, man. He's doing a good job.
I would say 9 times out of 10, the arrow is better in almost every situation. Unless you're down and you're trying to split push and you really, really need that attack speed, I'd say always go for arrow. But what of other what are some other things you've heard?
I feel like that usually is a consensus too, and it's something we have to. But there was just a Mirana game, a couple of Mirana games, if I say recently, where we did see them go the 100 leap attack speed, and you know, maybe with something like there was a synergy if they had a faceless void on their team with a Chronosphere, and you want to get as much damage output from that, perhaps. But yeah, it seems like usually the Sacred Arrow talent is what we usually see. And didn't it get nerfed too recently? The attack speed talent, I believe that got nerfed also recently, which kind of put people over the edge on the other one. So that's maybe something to do with it too. But well, she's 21.5. We'll see if FN does indeed go the triple arrow.
I could see it maybe working well with like a Luna too, like having that huge attack speed and the glaives hit buildings or something. But yeah, I just think that the chance of you hitting one arrow, if not more than one, are very, very high. And if anything, it zones them out and just makes them move and be very, very scared of it. Yeah. But yeah, again, just to reiterate, I think that 9 times out of 10, the arrow is better.
Necrophos almost level 20 himself. So we'll get said talent from that. Sven, 21. He's got the 30 attack speed at level 20. Could have gone evasion, but feels bulky enough right now, and they're going to find Mirana.
Oh, God.
Wow. Deleted. Hexu credit for the
cocky
kill.
Playing up there like that.
Just a
and just kind of stood there for a second after his Lincolns got popped. He didn't attempt a Manta. He didn't attempt to turn around or leap. It's kind of strange, but able to quickly burst him down.
Enchantress is trying to finish the Ags. So trying to get the damage in from that item. It's going to be a God Strength push middle lane, though, but they travel the Ice Path. The Reaper Scythe is not going to be enough damage, however. Now he gets the BKB off. Here comes the turn. The Force Staff away for Necro. Need to keep him alive. Pops a Ghost Shot. Uber. Is it going to be successful? Dark Rift. Yes, it is. Again, he takes them out. And this Dark Gostic is doing a hell of a job with that. I feel like I see Underlords that aren't nearly as successful as he's been in this game.
Did you see who he doomed? Did he doom Enchantress?
Honestly, I'm not sure. That's a good point.
I looked. It didn't look like Enchantress was doomed unless it faded at the end. But anyway,
it might have been Mirana earlier.
Well, no. I heard it right in that last fight.
Okay,
it was like it just went on cooldown, and Mirana was already dead. So, did he doom a creep? I don't even know. It must have been the Enchantress.
Well, even if he dooms Necrophos there, yeah, it probably would have been a kill actually for sure. Yeah, because he wouldn't have been able to do anything. So,
I feel dumb now that I did. But anyway, double damage, spawning bottom. I don't know if I said this, but yeah, he did go for the blink. He's like, screw that. I just want the initiation onto like a Necro very, very quickly. So he doesn't go for the halberd, which I think is totally fine. Like having that extra mode of initiation, getting him up into the team fight, and making sure that the Doom is used is more important than anything.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah, it was the leap duration was nerfed. That's what it was.
Oh,
which
okay.
then in turn kind of nerfed that talent.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. I think, honestly, even before that, Arrows is just better.
5-man smoke.
It's funny, though, because when the talents were first introduced, almost everyone went the attack speed.
It sounded
like,
silly, yeah.
It sounded just like meme-y.
Reaper Scythe, again,
Damage
very early.
Not there.
That Glimmer Cape also helping, and now Illidan trying to find a turn, but man, is he low. He is still very low. He is still very low. He's being healed up, but the Ice Path will be stopping it. And Sven just has to run this whole time, so they're losing out a lot of damage. Output is SFTe, and the Impetus attacks, meanwhile, from a Poshka, but the life chain on him, and the Chain Frost bouncing around, doing plenty. Necrophos is dead as well. FN in the back lines. Trying to escape. Underlord is going to be a little bit too far from his teammates. Oh, this time it's not a successful getaway. And Jakiro also ends up falling. So despite Illidan getting so low at the beginning of that fight, he just kites away ultimately. And the teammates end up cleaning up for him.
Jeez, MVP, Ledge Chain Frost. My god, that did so much damage that fight. Bouncing to and fro. Able to get the Necrophos early on. Excuse me. And Tops in here. Healing up Illidan to full, basically. Gonna have his BKB at 18, no ult for 30 though. And Thompson, just like that, almost dies. A couple more auto attacks. Doom can't get off, uses the Manta to dodge it a little bit, nicely played. But Thompson will live for the time being. But that damage output, those right clicks are really starting to add up here for FN. And he really has no damage items just yet, that's a scary thing. He's gonna go for all defensive items, Manta, Lincoln Sphere, Diffusal somewhat of damage item, but does have that plus 50 damage talent level 20, and that's what we're really seeing.
And he's going to continue that trend, actually. He's going BKB, at least what he has queued up right now. He's not committed to it just yet, but kind of going off what you're saying right there. Scratch my head a little bit at that, because now you'd figure, okay, now he's going to transition into that big damage, something even like an MKB, for example, but or even the Butterfly, although the Blood Form, but you get the point. You know, more raw damage. Instead, he goes the BKB. At least that's what he has in mind. At this point, so do you think that's going to be a little bit too defensive? Could be missing out, but or
for the
Marana here, yeah.
I think it's completely necessary. Looking at their heroes, obviously there's a Doom, but with BKB up, the Lincolns just makes it that much stronger. Or sorry, the BKB just makes the Lincolns that much stronger. The only thing that you can cancel it with really is. I mean, I guess there's a couple of things, but there's just so much magic damage coming from Pugna. The Sand King stun's really annoying, so I see no problem at all with the BKB. That is the nice thing about this this random plus 50 damage talent is that you can afford to go for more defensive builds, but still have that damage output.
Yeah. Smoke up from the Dire side. They meet up in the jungle and they head on out. They definitely were not seen here. Roshan is not up. He's not up for a minute and a half, actually. There's the Satyrs in here as well to scout out anything. They're going to run into somebody here soon. He blinks. Where did he go? He went over here. Necrophos. Got invis from the Moonlight Shadows. You see the Uber out from Underlord. He'll take himself. And not going to catch anyone. So good reactions from Empire. The attempted ganks. Instead, they'll lose some resources. But again, Roshan's still about a minute away before he's resurrecting here. And they're going to check it, but as we know, not yet. Not yet. They are going to be scanned out. And so Empire might think they're doing Roshan right now.
Right. Well, they've sent an arrow there in the pit. They know it's not up yet. But that does bring Marana back. She's not able to split push in the bottom lane anymore, at least for the time being.
Pugna, you mentioned the BKB, has that now. Lincoln Sphere even queued up for him next. So also going to try to be very defensive. And having that purge on top of that. Sven, though, with a Bloodthorn, another 3,600 gold. Target he catches is going to be falling quickly. No no diffusal or anything like that, but obviously they do have Doom with the Purge, although as you were talking about earlier, it's very, very small radius for Doom. He has to get up close and comfortable with whatever hero he's trying to get that on. They're just kind of playing the game of let's try to farm out the middle of the map here because Roshan should be up soon. And sure enough, he is. It's going to be checked by Empire first.
Yeah, this is surely just going to be a fight that breaks out at Roche. Both teams want it. We'll see. It just really comes down to initiation, and here we go.
BKB pops at the Manta. Goes for the TP. He's going to be muted up, though, from Doom right there. So now they're running a retreat mode. Jakiro put the Magpie down. He gets picked off, however, as does... Oh, no, he's actually still alive, but Enchantress didn't fall. He dies right before the Dark Rift is activated and sent back to base.
And they can go push on after this.
Yeah, this should be free now.
God Strength's down, but they do have the Bloodthorn, so... Looks like they do want to contest this, though, even with just 3 heroes on 5. They know Doom is down, Epicenter is down, all their big spells and cooldowns are down. So, we'll see if they can make something happen with an early Necro ulti to start things off.
They're going in, Moonlight Shadows, Underlord leading the way, does not have his Dark Rift now. They're kind of just running into this. And now Underlord being sucked up with a life drain, gets out of range, another life drain comes out, the Lincoln's put on him after. They really just want to stall this as much as possible, though, so the fact that nobody died is huge for Empire. And they are going to stall it, but will they stall long enough? Enchantress is up, Jakiro is back up. Can they really commit here? They're going to try. Gostic, Pit of Malice, he's going to throw it in. And again, Roshan still has a fair amount of life. That Firestorm does a lot to it, though.
They're just not taking it down quickly enough without the God Strength. And it's finally falling now. Who will get it?
FN picks it up for Empire. What a swing right here for Empire. Now Pugna gets covered by the Reavers. I think he's dead for 120 seconds. No buyback for the Pugna. Lich is in trouble. Pexu's going to fall. And Empire, they could just go cutthroat now into the base.
Yeah, really nicely played by Empire. They knew that they didn't have the damage output without Sven's ulti. And they were able to kind of peck at them a little bit, back up, wait for their teammates to respawn, and that's exactly what they did. Cooldowns are now up here for Team SFT. Sven's ready to go. Just wants to make sure he gets a good opening, good initiation.
Good, but yeah, they pop the Lincoln Sphere. He jumps onto the Necrophos, gets a follow-up from Nico as well, and they will pick off Necro. He's dead for 75. He doesn't have a buyback. Nico, though, the impetus attacks, gets to the Shrine, the Glimmer Cape help, and will survive. So now it's a 4 versus 4. Sven goes in. The Ice Path locks him down. If Sven dies here, this is going to be huge. Sven, he will die. He has a buyback. Does he use it immediately is the question. He does not. Lich gets picked off, though. He may need to use this if they want to defend. He does buy back eventually, but now he has to be careful. Doom goes down, and it's just going to be him and the Sand King. Sand King's not in position, though, currently, to defend. So this buyback is not really doing a whole lot for Sven at this point. And that's at least the Rax.
He doesn't even have ult. He doesn't have ult. He doesn't have BKB, and that was the problem when he jumped in the second time.
Look at Nikwa, though. Look what he's doing. He's keeping backdoor protection on.
They still can cut through it, apparently.
Jeez.
They got one Rax. They're still going through a second one. Doesn't even matter. The damage output's so high.
Kill it.
Siege creep going. They still have that. They're going top. Backdoor protection or not, they're pushing this.
And they can. They can, as they're showing. So that's
where you want. This is when you want that leap of damage, or the leap attack speed, actually. But he actually did go for the arrow.
That's going to be another melee Rax. Oh my god, with these series today, man, we've seen some key swing moments. In both of these series, Illidan's going to stun up, but doesn't matter. Underlord already sends them back. Clearly the damage done from Empire. After the Roshan fight, they somehow steal away. And now you have these bigger and better items coming out too. Enchantress, a full Aghanim Scepter. You mentioned the damage amp on him from that. You got the Underlord picking up a Lotus Orb here. Marana, Diffusal Blade is, well, level 2 is ready to go. And then a Maelstrom currently in the backpack on top of that. So all the heroes getting enhanced that much more. And even Necrophos didn't even mention him, but he has a BKB actually coming. Interesting.
Yeah, the problem just seems to be that if this Sven doesn't have his ulti, they can't fight. And they exploited that in the last fight. Sven went in, they got a very nice kill on Necro, but he popped his BKB, popped his ulti, got the Necro cool, but he went back in when all those things were off or on cooldown, and he just just couldn't do anything. Didn't have the damage output, didn't have the survivability with his BKB, and they just trucked him down. So they really have to play around these Sven's cooldowns, because I just don't think they have enough in team fights against the super fat Mirana and this. I mean, really, all of them are so farmed on the side of Empire. They all have tons of items, except for maybe the Jakiro, but a 4-staff is enough.
Yeah, that was fun right there, too. I mean, right, SkinCoin was sitting on top of the double damage rune at the top, hoping Sven would come over to pick it up, and eventually he started coming over, but Mirana just ended up sniping it in front of him instead. So now Mirana has that still. It's probably going to wear out before they get involved here. As, yeah, the Moonlight Shadows activated, but the Dire side, they picked up on something. They saw it happening, it looks like, and they just fall back and even smoke up
bottom shrine is under
as they do a
attack.
full-on retreat here. So this is an interesting spot, though, for Empire, because you're not guaranteed to just freely push into the base by any means, and you don't want to throw yourselves at them, but they do have the Aegis still on Mirana. We are going to see a jump, though. There's that God Strength going on to Underlord, but he's a beefy target. He's going to stay alive for the time being. Reaper Scythe in the backlines does not actually secure a kill, and Mirana's still alive. She finally will be picked up. That Chain Frost bouncing around. Necrophos, he's going to be doomed up and killed as a result. Caustic is going to have to Uber here. It doesn't activate the Dark Rift just yet. They picked off Doom. FN, he's going to kite away, though. Dark Rift going to send just Uberlord, the Uber, or Dark Underlord. There you go.
The Uber
I'd say Uber now. Saying it too much. Mirana,
Top barracks are under
is he
attack.
actually dead? He is, isn't he? Okay, they did catch up to him.
They lose their range racks top, unfortunately, but a very nice team fight there from the Dire, and they just have to play around these Sven's cooldowns. And when they do, they're actually looking good in these team fights. I mean, that was against an Aegis, and I think Cheese, unless it was burned off before, or was that just the first Roshan? I don't even remember.
Well, yeah, Underlord used Cheese there, but they might even have another one, do they?
But
no, they don't.
Yeah, they went on the Underlord. He actually survived quite nicely. There was a 4-staff, I think, from either Jakiro or Enchantress, and then he Lotus himself. But this Necro is just, unfortunately, you would think with these defensive items, with 4-staff, Lincoln's BKB, that he's able to survive in these fights. But they're focusing him down really nicely, and with him out of the fights and just being doomed up or what have you, they're just not getting enough out of it. And I don't think these ultis are really connecting from him. They're being maybe too early or something, or on BKB targets, but I've seen a couple now where they haven't been able to get even close to the kill with those Necrophos ultis.
Yeah, I do agree. The Reaper Scythe, it feels like it hasn't been that impact. I mean, other than the Pugna kill, of course, where he died with no buyback there, but he hasn't had the prime ones every single fight by any means. Illidan, off War Cries if he's maybe going to go in, but nope, just simply open the creep wave, push a little bit. He has the AC now finished as well, so they were just using him for the aura, but you look at the top and the middle lanes being split push and going to force some kind of response. In fact, Pexu just uses the Chain Frost to just simply push back the top lane right here. It's only a 60-second cooldown right now, and obviously they need to keep those lanes pushed out as much as they can, so makes sense.
Yeah,
though.
And keep in mind, this game can be easily defended by the Dire against Mega Creeps, like very easily. They have Cleave, they have Caustic, Finale from Sand King, they have a level 25 Pugna right now. They'll even soon have level 25 Lich Armor, which is what, how much, like 30 or something ridiculous, 35. Yeah. So they can easily defend Mega Creeps if it gets to that point. Here we go, Moonlight Shadow in mid, or top I should say. One arrow connects, other two fly past.
Lich is the one stunned up, but not reason enough to commit right there. Yeah, with that talent, I mean, it makes it, what, 44 armor that he's putting on buildings
Dire's
here.
top shrine is under
So
attack.
that's definitely the possibility of turtling is very real here for SFTe-sports. But Sven working out a little bit now. Radiant, they scan them in the area. Got that information at least, but yet again, I'm sure as we get to these points, Roshan is probably going to be waited for here. It's going to be a little bit, though, before that happens. The Shrine kill at the top.
Shrine has fallen.
And it's understandable from Empire. I go back to that where they can't feel like they're in a spot where they could just push up tier 3 and, you know, just finish this game. And it's as you were just saying, the counter push is definitely very powerful inside of SFT. If anything, defending is very strong for them, and that's just going to give them an opening to possibly try to win this game. So yeah, get Roshan. Try to find that pick off, the impatient game perhaps out of the Dire side, and then push off of that. And they're going to smoke up here to try something. make a play. They definitely were not seeing. They went very deep in their side of the map to smoke up. Don't know if they're going to find anyone, though, unless they maybe cut towards the bottom lane. Arcane Rune. That'll be picked up by, looks like Marana.
They might... No, they doubled back. They actually went towards bottom, but then didn't think they could find anybody. They're actually going to use that Marana ulti now and look for something in the mid. There is no sentry on the bottom right side of this mid lane, so maybe they can pick off this Pugna if they have vision. Arrow comes out, not going to hit him.
Oh, they got Sven, though. Force a BKB.
That's fine.
He's fine.
That's fine. They can maybe even go into bottom or something, but BKB used, they should probably try to force something.
All right, so Nikwa just trying to create the wave pushed up down here. Again, he has that Ags, so feeling a little more comfortable as far as escaping if need be. But Roshan still has about a minute before he's going to be back up here. That Alpha Wolf controlled by Enchantress, meanwhile, for the team. Doom's just sat on this this purge creep, I feel like, the whole game pretty much. Doesn't think anything else is that necessary. Does that make sense to you, that he just pretty much has the purge creep the whole time?
Yeah. The only thing is he kind of wants to focus this Necro every time with his ult anyway, right? So it's like he's not really going to be casting that spell if he's going to be doomed. Obviously, he can keep his options open and maybe doom the Marana if he gets a chance. It's much harder to doom Marana, though. Not only one level of protection being the Lincolns, but you have that Manta to kind of stop them from, or keep them guessing about which one is the real one after the Manta is used. So I would say the prime target's always that Necro. So yeah, I guess Purge is kind of weird at this stage of the game. Maybe he gets that level 20 talent where he can devour the Ancients and gets the Granite Golem or something like that. Or even gets that one, I forget what it's called, but it's the thing that, oh, hold that thought, here we go.
Oh, he stunned himself. Nice Lotus Orb reaction. The Reaper Scythe again, it's very early, but it helps lock down to get the kill on it. Doom. Sven popped his BKB, it runs off to the Pit of Malice, locks him down, dead for 120 seconds. Lich is dead as well for 75, no buyback in the backlines. Thompson's caught by the Ice Path. These Ice Paths from the Jakir right here definitely seem on point. Vansker is melting away to the life drain, but it's not enough. Triple kill for FN. Buyback already from Sven here. Simply to push out of the base, but yeah, that Lotus Orb start. And I'm also noticing real quickly, Sven, level 25 talent, by the way. He actually chose a Stormhammer cooldown instead of that 65 damage here.
I like that. I like that a bit more. Although maybe in this game it's better to just try to get that burst down on somebody, but the main problem is that they just were fighting uphill onto the Empire side of the map with Empire having more vision. By more, I mean SFT didn't have any vision up there.
Yeah.
So it just was not a good location for them to fight, unfortunately.
Chappie's thinking this one's in the bag, and can't say I disagree. Empire's just a matter now after the Roshan kill. With the Aegis back at Marana, Cheese picked up on Necrophos. Now you can go for perhaps one final push here and feel comfortable to try to push up tier 3 and truly finish the game. But got Sven with the Bloodthorn, one big Stormhammer, the Chain Frost coming out, the Epicenter, a couple of cleaves with some crits. That's the God combo. The Stars side and how they're going to stick into this game and have any chance of coming back. But Marana is just sitting on more and more gold. 4,600 now gold saved up, but she's at a spot where possibly Moon Shards is going to be thought about for her next item. Just eating one, as she currently has phase boots in her backpack at this point.
She could just buy it right now. She's got an Aegis. She'll probably farm up buyback by the time she dies the second time anyway. So we'll see. Maybe she wants to save her bots potentially in a buyback bot situation. So she'll have basically 3 lives. One with the Aegis, one her natural death. She can buy back for a 3rd time and maybe buy bots and then TP into the fight. So she's got a lot of ways to stay alive.
Does Underlord get something fun at 25? 50 health regen. Jesus. Thought it was tough to kill him already. That's quite a lot of health regen that he could potentially get as well. But Pit of Malice route too seems pretty nice, so we'll see what he goes for. Enchantress Impetus damage or enchant affects the ancients. So similar to Doom. Basically a Chen Ags.
Yeah, but way better because he can take control of it a lot. Well, I guess it's kind of the same exact thing, right? Because you get as many as you have in your ult, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I guess it's basically the same thing.
Jakiro even 23.5, so he's almost there. The Macropire pure and pierces immunity. That sounds decent, actually.
Oh yeah, I love that. I mean, almost everyone will get the ice path duration, but in some situations where you really need to just like you say if you're going to buy an Axe already on Jakiro and you really need to defend against that BKB, it's really really strong. Does a lot of damage, but usually the ice path duration is much better.
Yeah, if you don't have the Ags, it seems like it's probably not as necessary to get, but with an Ags, you could definitely see that. There's always Necropho, so I'm sure just the 400 health. We'll see. Do I want to just get tank here? We mentioned Lich. He's 21 here, so still doesn't have his level 25. Speaking of 50 health regen, Sanking also has the option to get that. 200 Nether Blast damage. Picked up by Pugna, by the way.
Oh, yeah. That's a staple.
A lot of damage. And then there's Doom, who's only level 18 right now. He's on the struggle bus this game.
Poor guy.
He's keeping up with the levels. So again, guys, this is game one.
And maybe that goes back to think about how much time has elapsed since he hit level 10. A long time. Because he has a really good start. He was getting levels very early on, very quickly. I want to say he was level 8 at like minute 12, which for a 4-position Doom was very, very fast. So think about how much time has gone by since he hit level 10 and how much more gold he would have by devouring every single time 80 more gold. It's a lot of gold, so maybe in hindsight it was a mistake to get the health over the gold, considering, I mean, obviously hindsight's 20/20, but I mean, this is the first time I've ever seen someone get the health over the devour gold. I've like always seen the devour gold. Maybe that could be the difference between right now him not having a BKB or something.
Yeah.
And it just compounds too, because you get items faster. That means you win fights maybe earlier on, and then if you win fights earlier on, totally changes the outcome or scope of the game. So obviously, I'm just theorizing.
Yeah, and it's worth pointing out. But yeah, there is the hindsight factor, and hell, if he won a Hand of Midas, you know, it's by now it would have definitely paid off and more. So maybe he should have done that.
Well,
but
yeah, but the difference is Hand of Midas costs 2,200 gold, whereas this is free.
True. That is very true.
It's just like, yeah, the health is nice, but he's gonna in engagements he's pretty much gonna die anyway. If he's gonna die, I don't think 275 health in this type of situation is gonna be the biggest difference. But now, if he went straight for that, like it looked like he was gonna go for all that all-out tanky build, like he had mana boots, rush the pipe, was gonna go for the halberd, then it made a lot of sense. But now he's gone for this, I just need to get my Doom off kind of build, and it's kind of stalled since then.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not faulting him at all. It's just the nature of the game. But
Game number one, guys, of this best of three. Again, that's our final series of the day here for the SkinCoin WCA tournament. We're just getting started with this main event group stage part, and we go the next I want to say 6 days are for this group stage here. Group A for the next 3, and then Group B for the following 3, and then after that it's then 3 more days even of what's the playoff stage here of this event running. So again, a $50,000 plus prize pool for this stage alone, as well as the top 2 teams ultimately moving on to the LAN event portion. In Group A, we're looking at Vega Squadron, Hellraisers, Team Empire, and SFTe-sports. Of course, Vega and Hellraisers played earlier. Hellraisers won that series 2-1. And then in Group B, we got Malsports, Kingwin, Mitterfeed, and then Effect. Mitterfeed, of course, the Weehaw stack there. And actually, just earlier today, they announced Cinderin is their new 5th, replacing Saxa. He ended up stepping down from competitive Dota for now, so...
Huh, okay.
Yeah. Something to look forward to. Group B action over there. And we are still waiting. Yeah, it seemed like they were ready to go, but then not, and now he's DC'd even, so perhaps just a tech issue.
You know, in situations like this, whatever always happens is there's a long pause, and then the game will end like 30 seconds after.
Yeah. Yeah, no, here's the final push. Let's just pause and take a 10-minute break here, figure it out, and then, yeah, unpause, and exactly. It's like, game's over. You know, game's definitely... Okay, the game's not over yet, but it's been in a tight spot for SFT ever since that Roshan fight. That's a couple times today. The Roshan fight has determined the game here, so Empire trying to get that 1-0 lead. So how's life for you, Tralf? You playing some FPL?
Yep. I'm up in Vancouver.
Nice.
Good old city of Vancouver. Although the traffic here, if anyone lives in Vancouver knows that it is just terrible traffic.
I've actually heard about that, yeah. I've heard it's like a beautiful place, but there is... I also heard it's like pretty expensive to live there.
Yeah, it's very... And from what I've read, I'm in North Vancouver, and it's really... Traffic's really bad up here too, and they just didn't plan for as many people living here as they did. So that's why traffic is so bad. They just didn't plan for it, and yeah, not fun. Not fun at all. I'm much more, as I'm getting older, I'm much more into the I want to live in the middle of nowhere in Montana kind of guy now.
Oh yeah, as long as there's good internet connection, be good.
Yeah, and in this day and age, you pretty much are fine. Whereas, yeah, when we were like 16, it's like, no. You had to live in big cities to get good internet.
Oh, yeah. That takes me back. Yeah, it's I definitely like where I live, you know, I mean, good old Kalamazoo, Michigan. It's kind of that nice medium. It's not
still
too big.
Still in Kalamazoo, huh?
Yeah, man. Still in Kalamazoo. It's
No, I really liked Ann Arbor. I visited there.
That's right.
Such a pretty cool, you know, college town.
Yeah.
Good food, good beer.
Yep, it's a nice in-between of not too big yet not too small either, so enjoy living out here. And casting a lot of Dota coming up. There is a lot of it. That's been,
for some reason, I thought you were back in California.
No, I never.
No, you never.
In fact, a lot of my family has actually moved on from California. They moved to Colorado now.
Oh, nice. I've never actually been to Colorado, but hear nothing but good things.
Yeah, no, Colorado's great. It's a very cool place to be. Actually, would not mind moving there in the future, but nope, still out of Michigan. We do not have snow yet, but it's coming.
Boy, that's one thing I'll never miss from just the Midwest and Northeast is, God, the winters are so bad. I mean, already the winters can be kind of brutal on the east side of Washington where I grew up. But, man, it's like...
It's different, yeah.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah, well, it snows up there in Vancouver, right? Like you get
a little bit. Not as much, but a little bit. I mean, I lived in Seattle for a while, and it's kind of the same thing there. The climate is pretty much the same as Vancouver.
Okay.
Or in Seattle, rather. But,
got it.
Yeah, winter's nothing like the East Coast.
Yes, guys, we know. Pause is taking a while. Yeah, 1 more minute, apparently. Oh, well, there you go. He's reconnecting, actually.
Watch this. All right, someone do a countdown of how much longer this game will last, because it always happens towards the end of a game. Long pause, they're ready, and then one fight, and it's over.
Over under 1 minute. Let's see. Let's see what it is. So we're at 51-26. Here's the unpause, and here we go. Grouped up. Got the creep wave here, so don't need to wait for that. I mean, everything's up on both sides as far as ultimate cooldowns. They're just going to apply the Lotus Orb. We got a Lotus Orb. We got the Lincolns. Surprised Necrophos could even throw the Lincolns on top of Mirana as well for the second effect. They go in, though. They're trying to blow up Mirana. Doing a pretty good job of it so far, but it's not enough in the long run. She leaps away. Will survive. Doom, he got overcommitted. He put the Doom up on somebody. Looks like off to the side an Underlord, so they prevent him from ulting out. But Svenels is going to get caught. He's dead. And Thompson, really the sole core survivor. He got the epicenter off to the side of Maposhka, but Thompson blows up. He's dead. It's going to be under a minute.
Under a minute. Fucking called it. Every time.
Actually under a minute. Oh, that's good. Did he just...
Well, I'm really glad we waited.
Victory.
So that, I mean, to be fair, they have every right. But
Yeah.
there we go. Team Empire taking game one. It was actually pretty, other than the very long pause at the end, it was a pretty exciting game. It wasn't really clear who was going to take it, you know, from the very beginning until maybe about the last 10 minutes or so. But back and forth. Fun game to watch, but very nicely done by Team Empire.
It was, and definitely, you know, odds-wise, a team that you'd expect to be the favorite, of course, coming in, and SFT, the qualifying out of the initial qualifiers here to have to get to the stage where Empire was invited, of course. But again, SFT, definitely do not underestimate them. They've had some deep runs, and okay, I keep going back to they beat OG earlier in the season here. They got to the grand finals of the ESL European qualifiers before losing a secret there, so they're a legitimate squad, but they come up short here in game one. So game two, though, we'll see how it shapes up. We're going to go on a short break, but load things up here on BreakyCPK, joined by TraLF once again. One more time, guys, the exclamation point SkinCoin in chat. Get the giveaway information. And if you go to skincoin.org, you can check out the latest cryptocurrency on the esports market here. You can trade for your favorite Dota 2 as well as even CSGO skins as well. Game number two, guys, Empire versus SFTe-sports. We'll be right back.